good day, good morning, good evening. I'm happy to have you here. Welcome at my Q&A, question and answer session. My name is Tatyana Ryzhkova and I am really happy to have you all here. And in upcoming hour, I will be here to answer on your questions about guitar techniques, any other guitar topics you want, to hang out and just to talk about everything possible. So from now on, please feel free to send me your comments in the chat window of YouTube, of the live stream, and then I will pick them up to answer. And actually, depending on the amount of the questions today, either I will be able to answer all of them, or I would need to choose the most interesting from them. So, we can start. Feel free to send me your questions. I say once again hello to everybody who joined me right now. And while you are doing that, while you send me the questions, I just thought I would like to have a little bit fun, and I will fill this time with a beautiful piece of music written by Derek O'Neill, Coca-Cola. I'm really curious to know what you have written in the meanwhile. And by the way, if you didn't hear the announcement before, that was the piece by Derek O'Neill called Cocobolo. And if you are wondering what guitar do I have now in my hands, this is my signature model Black Limba made by Raimundo Guitars, Spain. And this one is particularly the guitar with the cedar top. Actually, it's the last guitar that is available now in my online shop. So if you would like to have exactly this instrument that I hold right now in my hands, check the link below the live stream video. And let's see what did you send in the previous few minutes, if there are already any interesting questions there. Let me check. So we will do it in the way that I read the question and then I just give my answer on it. Alberto, hi Tatyana, I really admire your work on the guitar. Thank you so much. I'm your #1 follower, so great to hear that. What do you do to avoid nervousness before a concert? Great question. Really good one. You know, it's in general, it's not possible to avoid something, especially to avoid an emotion. If you have this emotion, you cannot avoid it. You cannot forget it, and you know, it's just like if you say, don't think about it, that is the only thing you will think about. So that doesn't work. So if you feel nervous, just keep on feeling nervous, but try in addition to this emotion to find something different that you also take. So before the concert, I don't like to be distracted. So I would like to concentrate myself. I don't want to talk a lot. And I just try to focus on very, very simple steps like what I'm doing right now. If I take the guitar, if I put a dress or whatever else. And another thing is also to remind yourself, why are you doing that? Why are you going to perform something? Why do you go on stage? Why you really did? And if the answer will be not because I would like to prove something, or if I would like to win something, if the answer would be because I'm having joy playing the music and because I would like to share this joy with the audience, you will feel better. I don't want to say that your nervousness will be completely away. Of course, it's also something very, very individual. There are people who are very nervous and there are others who are just like an elephant. They don't care about anything. But you can try to take something else in your emotional area, except nervousness. Some joy, some fun, some excitement about something good coming to you, about sharing the beautiful music with others. And practice. Performances are more or less, you can practice that. The nervousness also, as more you perform, as less nervous you get, and as bigger pause or break you had since your last performance, as more nervous you become. And once I heard something very interesting from professional soccer player. That was really interesting for me, that if they, for example, soccer player from national team, if they didn't play for several months, if they didn't play really in a real game, in a stadium with lots of people and so on, they also need a lot of time. It's comparable with our situation as performers. They also need a lot of time till they can feel free on the field and till they can do their 100 or almost 100% as they trained to be. I found that quite interesting because very often we also look at the soccer and we just wondering how great they do it, and it's difficult to imagine if they have a great break. They also have big problems also with the nerves and with the technique, but that is everything what we can practice actually. So now let's take a look. From Oli. Hi Tatyana, I would like to ask you, how can I achieve clear, pure sound? The beautiful sound consists of several points. There are several aspects. First of all, not first of all, no? There is no real ranking where you can say that is the most important, that is less important. I just tell you everything, what you need to have or what you need to take care of if you would like to have a good sound. So the shape of the nails, for sure also the quality of the nails, how good they are polished, so if they are rough or not rough, strings also, guitar of course, but also the place where you put the finger, the length of your fingernail, and the particular way how you really produce the sound. So what are you actually doing when you put the finger on the string and how it moves when you go away from the string. All these small points, put it together, they are responsible for a good sound. The great thing, you can practice almost everything. The only thing you cannot change is the quality of your fingernails, but there are also some tools to help you to get them more strong. But nevertheless, if you will remove one of these points, your sound will get less beautiful, round and strong. If you are interested to get more detailed information about the right hand and especially the sound production, there are few masterclasses I did on internet and on YouTube. First of all, you can find live stream about good sound. There is a lot of information about that, but also on my channel the lesson about right hand planting, but especially the masterclass on the topic planting and right hand. And this masterclass you can find on Patreon, on my Patreon page, but also if you don't want to become patron, you can download it in my online shop. By the way, there are now 3 masterclasses available there about the left hand, about the right hand planting, and about damping. 3 really very informative classes with lots of exercises, but also with theoretical base. And great news, we have today sale. So starting from today, if you check them, you can find them for really less money. So check out my online shop. Let's take a look. What do we have else? Your signatures are beautiful, tonally so rich. Love Black Limba. Thank you so much. Thank you, Ryan. They are really something special, and in this price category, I think we catch the best result we could have. From Neil. Hi, beautiful tone. Do you find tone improves switching from normal to hard attention strings? For sure. But So the tension of the strings for sure has also big influence on the tone itself. But not only, and the tension of the strings should suit to the guitar, to the instrument itself. Not each guitar likes to have hard tension strings, but also the strings should suit to you and to your way of playing. For example, personally, I don't like to play on the hard tension strings. They're too hard for me, and I'm not able to produce such a big power as I can when I play on normal strings. But it's, as I said, it's very individual and should suit also to the guitar. Some guitars sound really better with the hard tension strings. So just try it out and check what your guitar and your fingers prefer most. From Isaac, for how long a person can learn music theory? Oh, good question. For the whole life. The same is with the playing the guitar. You can learn the theory as long as you want to learn it, and you can improve always. It's nothing that comes to the end, and there is no point where you say, okay, now I know everything, or now I can play guitar perfectly. I don't need to study that more. It's something what you can do your whole life. Eduardo. Hi Tatyana. I'm thinking of acquiring one of your signature guitars, but I have not decided yet if cedar or spruce. Can you tell me the sound characteristics of each one? Yes. First of all, what I can say, if you have any opportunity to try them out, do that. Because in my hands, the guitars sound different than in yours or in the hands of another professional colleagues. Each instrument sounds different in different hands. That is just like a rule. But if I would like to make some kind of summary, what are the differences between this particular cedar and spruce, black limba? Cedar is usually a bit louder. Cedar has warmer sound, more round, more warm, and the spruce is the instrument that definitely will develop in the time. So when you take in your hand the cedar and spruce in the same time, the cedar would sound now a bit more beautiful. But the spruce takes time to develop, and after that it opens very nicely, and it has more sound colors. So if you prefer to play around with the different colors, spruce is definitely something what you need to try. If you don't care about sound colors and you just would like to have a basic, good, warm, round sound, then cedar is definitely something for you. And as I said, spruce is probably in the beginning a bit quieter, and it needs time to come and rolling, to develop, but then it opens really, really beautiful. From Derek. Hi Derek. Okay, what is your favorite classical guitar piece of all time? What is your favorite classical guitar piece of all time? Whew. Hard question. It's difficult to say because I don't know, maybe you have it differently, but I noticed that the favorite pieces they are changing. No, maybe that can take years, but nevertheless, some time ago I loved a lot Capriccio Arabe, and I played it a lot. Now I can't stand it, and I don't play it at all. I excluded that from a concert program for a while just to have a break. It's not about you, it's everything about me, and just let's stay friends. But now there are few pieces that I really love and enjoy a lot playing them. One of them you heard in the beginning, Cocobolo by Derek O'Neill. I really love this piece. Prelude also by Villa-Lobos, the first one. Could be counted there. The Mallorca piece for sure, and you know, when I started to think, I could tell you almost my concert, the whole concert program, and that is actually how I put the pieces together for the concert. I choose the pieces that I like and really enjoy in this current moment, and then I do a beautiful program out of that. But it's changed. We'll see. Maybe that will change one day. From Fred. From Fred, a long time ago before a game, a coach told us we don't get nervous, we get excited to play. That's great difference. So that is actually what we need to look for. There is a big difference between get nervous, because when you're getting nervous, you usually afraid of something. So nervousness is usually combined with being not sure, being not confident, and being afraid of doing mistakes, or that everybody will think bad about you, or that anybody will not like you or how you play. That is about nervousness. And being excited, it's something very positive. No? You also feel the pulse rising. You also maybe have the same physical things like wet fingers, and your heart is just running faster, but you don't feel afraid. You feel excited. You're waiting. You're really waiting for it, and you're aiming to do something special. And that is definitely something to look for. From Justina. Dear Tatyana, I really love how you play guitar. Thank you so much. You're my favorite guitarist. I wanted to ask you, do you can record a tutorial for Capriccio Arbe by Francisco Targa? I would really like to learn it. Thank you so much, Justina. In generally, I know these lessons are quite popular on YouTube right now, tutorials about how to learn this piece or how to play that piece, and there is quite a big amount that you can find on YouTube. I started to think about that really some time ago, and in generally I had, it's not very clear for me what this masterclass should bring if I put it on an open World Wide Web just for everybody, because for me, playing particular piece or learning particular piece, it has so many different aspects, starting from, I don't know, the person who is looking this masterclass, watching this masterclass, and I don't know how long this person is playing guitar, how good or can she or he do it. I don't know which technical difficulties are there, so because of that I cannot give direct recommendation what you personally need to work on or to improve or to take care of, because everyone is very different, and in a real masterclass or in a lesson you can do it personally, and such a common video is a bit more difficult. But I was really thinking about that, and maybe I will do that for some pieces, but that will be for sure more about musical side of the piece, and about expressions, and so take a look at the updates. I cannot promise that it will come really soon, just in a few weeks, but for sure maybe next year there will be something on this topic. FBI, wow, thank you for joining me today. Hey, could you describe your ideal practice day? Oh, great question. That is a really great question. I like it. Ideal practice day. That is for sure the day that starts without any stress at all and without huge to-do list of all possible things and works that I need to do. And I started to practice when I feel that I want to. You know, there is a difference, for example, when you're, or when I'm talking about me, when I'm in a hurried and very well planned schedule, and when it's full with the concerts and any deadlines and anything else, there is a lot of discipline that I need to bring, and I do that also, but it's more about discipline and being professional, and a bit less about enjoying the process. Yeah, so you just know, okay, I need to prepare this and that for that day, and you sit down and practice and you concentrate without thinking, am I inspired now to do that or not? But if I talk about the perfect practice day, that is definitely the day without deadlines, where I'm doing anything that makes me feel good in general, and then I pick my guitar in the moment where I feel I want to play. I want to play now, and I have my warm-up and I started to play the pieces, and I can just go into the music and play with lots of emotions without thinking about any huge plan, but I'm still staying concentrated, but it's, you know, more spontaneous and less planned through. From Douglas. Good evening, Tatyana. Do you analyze new music before you learn to play? Repeated sections and key changes? Yes and no. I first of all, I like to hear the music, to hear the piece of music, so I have an impression about what it is about, what is waiting for me. Usually then I already have more or less a clear understanding of what would be the characters or the mood of the music, or the general big structure. Then I do the fingering for the piece, and then I start to learn it. Of course, during this learning process, I notice and I write down exactly everything what I discover, like A1, A2, if there are some repeating sessions, if it's more rondo form. But I don't like to do it very theoretical, like I know many loves to analyze the harmonics and how call this chord and where we have modulation. That is absolutely not for me. I don't work from this side because I can hear the music and I can understand the music without knowing. Honestly, if you ask me which key is it now, not always I'm able to answer you immediately. Some of the pieces I first need to check, because these are not the questions that bothering me. I think much more about expression and emotions and the natural flow of the music. And if you have this connection with music, I think you don't really need to know a lot about theory. You can know also perfectly the theory, but you will not be able to express music. So it's a bit complicated, but I think it depends also a lot on person. What do you like to do? If you like music theory, you need to do it. Blues Child, how do you achieve real finger strength? No matter how much I try, my finger get fatigue. Okay. The finger strength you can achieve doing several things. First of all, is of course regular practicing. Secondly, there are special exercises, for example, like playing with dynamic. Now, when you play not on the quiet, for example, if you take any scale, if you practice it very, very light, you never will be able to increase your strength. But if you practice it using a lot of forte or mezzo forte, then it's also helpful for your muscles. All kinds of arpeggios are also very useful for the right hand. There are actually hundreds of types, and if you do them regularly, they doing a good job for the fingers. And also rasguiado, flamenco technique, some kind of... If you do these rasguiados, they train really, really great the muscles of the right hand, and that can help to improve you also the strength. So just knowing some particular exercising and doing them regularly, that can help you definitely to improve. By the way, many of these exercises I also show in my masterclass right hand and planting. I go through all important types of exercises, and I share them also. So if you like, you can check it on my online shop. From Sinia. Hello, Sinia. Full-size guitar is just a little bit too long for my short arms, so I often prefer to put my cup on first position. Do you think I could still use one of your signature guitars? What can I say, Sinia? Of course, I can recommend the signature guitar to almost to everyone, but I must be honest, it has the same standard measuring. So if the usual guitar is a bit too big for you, then also this one will be. So if you need to put the capo, I would probably recommend you to look for a smaller guitar, like not 55, but maybe 54, 64 or 63. That would be something definitely good for you. No? I know there are not many who produce them, so any luthier can do it anyway, but maybe you can also find any used guitar. They are sometimes much cheaper than the new one, but has the same great quality, and it's just smaller, so it will be more friendly to your hands. From Ed. Hello, Ed. Yes, sounds so good. When playing, what types of memory would you say you use? 30% muscle memory, 30 phrasing and fingering practice, 30 visualization, 10% luck. Having a really hard time with memory. Luck is good, and as more luck you have, as better it is. I would tip of 100, but of course not only. And good question. I think it depends on the piece. Some pieces are around, I just need to guess, I have never measured that like that, but I would say maybe 30-40% of muscle memory, then a big part of emotional memory for some of the pieces. It could be also 30%, then 20% audio memory, and then also some of the visual memory. But there are also some other pieces that are maybe not so emotional, or maybe the pieces which are more difficult or technically more difficult. And then there is definitely less emotional memory and less muscle memory, but more visual memory and more intellectual memory. By the way, in a few weeks there will be, not next week, but the week after that, we will have a new Ask Tatyana episode where I will talk about all 5 kinds of memory and what is very typical for them, and for especially how you can practice each type of it, and how you can make the memorization be much more sure and also easy for you. From Laurent. Hey Tatyana, at what age were you able to play a complete piece on the guitar? Interesting question. I started when I was 10 years old, and that wasn't the first year of mine when I played music. I played before on different instrument. So I can say just from the first, few weeks, after the teacher gave me my first piece, I was able to play it. Now, but I think you mean something a bit more different. I think you mean more complicated pieces or more professional pieces. But because I started as a child and I had a teacher, so it was just like development. So each time, first there were pieces only with 4 measures, and then maybe with 8 measures, so they weren't so long and it wasn't so difficult to memorize them. And then it was just always more complicated and more. And I think it's also a great way to start with, because it's I feel very sorry for players if you're particularly the beginner, and when you pick up as the first piece, a super difficult one, if you start with Alhambra or Asturias or these hits, it's hard. It's hard, and it's actually more possible that will be frustrating and not very encouraging. So that's great to be able to start with the smaller, easier pieces and then to increase your level. If you find from Emin, if you find big problem with M finger attention not acting as it should be, would you ignore it and work with IA and not using M, or you would advise to keep working on M? I've been playing for 2 years. More I practice scales, more I find that my M finger is holding me back. So what do you suggest? Good question, Emin. I would say it very philosophical, it's something very typical for us human beings. If we notice any problem, and it doesn't matter if it's about middle finger or any other problem in our life, if we notice it, it's a very natural reaction just to do like you don't know about that. No, you just would like to switch it off and don't think about that and do like you don't have it at all. That's a very natural reaction, but it's absolutely not helpful. It's something that hold you back a lot. And I would definitely say, if you noted the problem, that's great. It's really good. It's already the half of the solution. Work on it. Work on it, and you need to find the right tools to develop your middle finger, but definitely the wrong way would be just to ignore it and to continue with IA. So either you just, it's like would be, I have 2 arms, I have 2 hands, I work more with the right one, but I will just take away my left one and will continue to work with the right. You can do that, but it's, we can do much more great things using both hands. So the same is also with the finger. What I can concretely recommend you, if you notice that one finger is not responding very well and not reacting very quick on your signals, especially when you work on scales, practice it with an accent. So when you play a scale, for example, you take the MI, C major scale, Segovia fingering, and you start first like very basic. You play each note twice, and you do MI, and you do an accent on the first M, on your weak finger. So that would be. And you really take care that you exaggerate and play really loud with that finger. The next step would be to play not each note twice, but only once. But keep the accents you would have. And so on. Of course, also starting slow and then increasing this tempo. This working with an accent that improves very, very well the strength of the finger and the reaction. So it understands finally that when you say middle finger, that you mean exactly him, and it will not ignore. So just try it out. KTV. Привет, Татьяна. Лучшее упражнение для развития координации мизинца левой руки, на твой взгляд. Привет, рада видеть вопрос на русском языке. Если мы говорим на тему координации мизинца, то, безусловно, любого рода хроматические упражнения. Например, то есть у нас есть здесь 4 пальца, мы выбираем последовательность, которая желательно по максимуму затрагивает 4-й палец, то есть, например, 1, 4, 3, 4, 1, 4, 2, 4, к примеру. Да, ты можешь сам придумать все возможные варианты с этим пальцем, можно также начинать с 4-го пальца и таким образом в обратную сторону прорабатывать, можно делать это с акцентами, в том числе, то есть такого рода упражнения, они очень здорово помогают проработать 4-й палец, его реакцию, комбинацию, что также довольно-таки хорошо помогает всякие такие упражнения на связку, когда у тебя несколько пальцев связано, и ты двигаешь либо 2 пальца вместе, либо если совсем сложно с мизинцем, то двигаешь сначала только мизинец, увеличивая амплитуду движения, да, а потом добавляешь еще 1 палец, и как бы в паре они действуют. Такие вещи тоже очень хорошо. И любого рода пауки, упражнения пауки, например. Такие штуки тоже очень полезны для 4-го пальца. Вот. Информацию тоже можно найти в одном из моих видео про левую руку. Там я давала в том числе эти упражнения. Можешь посмотреть на YouTube. Спасибо за вопрос. That was for everybody who is wondering what is happening right now. That was a question in Russian. So that was a big pleasure for me to answer also in that question, in that language. And the question was about how to make the better coordination of the 4th finger. And I showed several exercises based on chromatic scales or chromatic exercises where you use 4th finger a lot, or the second type of the exercise was with bending. So you bend your all fingers and then you move on to the 4th one, and then you do it with a pair of fingers. And also all types of spider exercises. These are also very good for the 4th finger coordination. From Conservative Voices University, do you play any Piazzolla pieces? I played Piazzolla, and actually I love this piece, and not this piece that his music. I love really a lot, but frankly speaking, it's been a while since I played it last, so I'm thinking about maybe to take something new. What would be, by the way, the pieces you are listening most when you're looking for Piazzolla played on the guitar? Which pieces do you enjoy and look for? Maybe you could write me, that would be interesting to know your opinion. From Josue, hi, some tips on how the fingers of the right hand should touch the string. We are again in the topic of right hand, and first of all, the first touching point of the finger should be that you can use both the nail and the flash. So we play, if you If you like to have a round sound and not just like this, then we try to use both flash and nail, and it's important to put the string not too far away in the flash, because then you will not get anything from the nail, but also if you put too close on the nail, you will miss the flash. So we find the golden middle and put it here on the left side of the finger, and now it's a bit far away, so probably you cannot see it so exactly, but we place the string on the left side of the finger on the flash, and when we roll down, then you catch with the fingernail. And it's also important that, in my opinion, of course there are different schools and different teachers, they say the thing that they prefer most. In my opinion, it's not so helpful to have long fingernails, and it's enough to have short or middle length fingernails, and in that way you can also better control the percentage of flash and of the nail that you use. But if you would like to see more exactly the angle where I put my finger, or how I would recommend you to do that, please check my master classes. That is also on YouTube, Good Sound, Masterclass Good Sound. You can find it on my channel, as well as Masterclass Right Hand. There was also about the tone production, but also if you would like to see it super practical, that is once again the Right Hand Masterclass, either on Patreon available or on my online shop. I noted that today there were quite many questions really about detailed technique, and it's not about commercial now, it's just about on Patreon, the master classes that I do there, we usually use different cameras, so you can really see and hear exactly how I put my fingers, how I do this movement. So I explain there super detailed, like I would do it in a real lesson, one-to-one. So if you're interested in getting and to learning a bit more about real technical background, I can really just encourage you to join Patreon, and there are also lots of my practicing sessions they are available, where my patrons also always very amazed about how much they learn just by watching me playing, because I also explain what I'm doing right now, why do I do, what problem do I have now, and how I solve it. So you really will get all these tools. That is quite difficult to do it now just in this format, but on Patreon there are really a lot of very useful information there. I'm looking for some other questions. The time is running, so I try to choose something, just a few questions. So if you have something special, write it to me with lots of signs, so I can see that it's important for you to get an answer. So I will choose now last few questions. Interesting question from Andres. Hi Tatyana, how you avoid the study to new piece when you never had listened before? For example, pieces from 14th and 15th hundreds. Thanks. Great question. If there are no recordings at all, it's good to listen to the music from the same time, and it doesn't matter if that would be absolutely different piece or especially if it would be another instrument. I would even recommend you to not try to find music for the lute. Okay, it's also really great to have the sound and to have an impression how this music was played on the lute, but also chamber music ensembles playing the music from that time. That is extremely helpful. It enriches your library, your audio library that you always have in your brain, and that will help you on the intuitive level to understand the music. As more you listen to the music for this particular side from this particular time and playing by different instrument, it's more it will be clear for you how you need to play it on the guitar, because such things as phrasings, accents, timing, the general interpretation of the music stays the same. It's something that is just typical for the time. So look for another recordings from people who are really good at playing this music, and that will already help you a lot. Fred, how you talk? Could you talk a little bit about how you get emotion into your playing? Interesting question. It's about it's like esoteric, you know. I listen to music and I can feel what it's about. Of course, it's not with each piece, and I also have some pieces that are not where I cannot open the door to the emotional part of it. I just don't feel them. If I don't feel them, I don't play them. So when you play the music, these are a lot of information hidden in the harmonies, in the sound of the harmonies. Just like such a very simple example, if you play a major chord, it's always or mostly something with about the sun, happiness, something positive, something light. And if you play the minor chord, it's something about being sad, melancholical, maybe thoughtful. So these are, just very, very simple example. But it works very similar also in the piece. So I listen a lot to the harmonies, to the changes also, where if there are a big basses, the bass line that is built into the part of music where you have most of the time melody on the top, it's always about dramatic. It's always about getting louder, being more, maybe sometimes aggressive, maybe sometimes just more dramatic. So these are all the things that help me to express the music. But honestly saying, I just first feel it, and after that, if you ask me how do you do, I can explain you that I noted this and that, but it happens on intuitive level. You can learn it in a particular way. So if you know some basics, you can keep it in mind, and that will help you to express music better. But particular feeling for the music, it's good to have it already inside. Now that's definitely helpful. So let me see. Maybe that question, how does one cut out, from Harry, how does one cut out the squeaks on the low wound strings while changing positions? To avoid squeezing, the favorite noise especially from the Prelude number 1 by Villa-Lobos, you need to be very precisely with your movements with the left hand. So important thing is that when you lift your finger from the tone where you played last, you need to do it completely like 90 degrees from the fretboard. So if you move just a little bit to the right or to the left, you will immediately hear this noise. So to avoid it, you need to lift your finger without sliding, just even for 1 millimeter on the string. And another point, when you, for example, need to jump, you can do it either and then you will hear this noise, or you can do, there is no noise. When you place your finger on a new tone, on the second tone that you play, also take care that you put it absolutely direct to the string and not under a particular, not under sharp angle. So when you come from the left, you already can hear the noise. So if you use this 90 degrees angle to the string, from your finger to the string, you will not have any noises and squeezes. So the very last question, just anything. Senior, that's a good one. How can I boost my musical confidence without feedback from a teacher? I play for myself only, and sometimes I become very insecure and block myself. First of all, I would recommend you to check my Ask Tatyana video on the topic, how can I succeed without a teacher? They already give lots of tools how you can improve yourself without having a teacher on your side. If you would talk about general musical confidence, then I would definitely recommend 2 things: to record yourself regularly and to listen to yourself, and also to do parallel to enrich your musical mental library, listening to a good performances of professional musicians or professional great orchestras, or great pianists, violinists, violoncello players, all possible instruments, all different types of music. But if we talk about classical music, just to listen as much as possible to great recordings, professional recordings, that will enable you to create a right ideal or a right frame that you will put on your playing when you do a recording. It could be very frustrating in the beginning if you never did it like that. So it can happen that the first recording you would listen to it and would say, oh God, that's awful. I cannot play like that. It's just, I cannot play at all. But if you don't give up, and if you try to compare where is the difference between your recording and somebody else playing this piece, just to ask your question, it cannot be just better, no? The person does something different, concretely different than you, and just try to ask yourself, what could it be? Maybe to compare what he or she is playing with his chords, now what you see. But of course, if you never had lessons, it's quite difficult to find out the right answers by yourself. So, but it's sometimes very helpful just not to have a regular teacher if you don't want, but maybe just to take master classes. No, you take one class, you get some feedback, and you work on that feedback for several months, like that. But it already helps you to improve, and that saves definitely your time. So next week on Sunday, there will be a very interesting masterclass on my Patreon page that's called Your Case. And if you like to participate there, please hurry. Till 1st December, you can send me your recordings if you like. If you don't like, you can just write me a message with your trouble spot or a concrete piece that you're struggling with. But you can also do a recording, and I will help you in this masterclass to improve your playing. I will give you very concrete advices, and that will be more or less like one-to-one lesson in a real time. And if you're interested, please check my Patreon account next Sunday at 5 p.m. and 2 days before that, next Friday, something really interesting is coming. There will be a new music video, but this time I will not play alone. Tatyana's guitar duet will be performing beautiful Italian music, Tarantella by Mario Ganji, a really beautiful duet. And we are, as Tatyana's guitar duet, we are really very much looking forward to share this special piece and special recording with you. So next Friday at 7 p.m. German time. Don't miss it. And today I would like to thank you so much for being here with me. Don't forget, we have the week with some sales about masterclasses. If you're interested to learn more about right hand, please check my online shop. They are really cheap, and you will have lots of information, useful information there. I thank you so much for joining me today. I'm looking forward to see you next Friday, next Sunday, and wish you all good day, good evening, good time, and hope that was a big pleasure for you as well as for me. Thank you so much, and see you next week.